What do you want?
Get your mind right.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Shot clock, what's the score? Fast start, told him put it on the floor.
All right. Episode 200. 200 straight. There's the mug. I got this little skinny screen. And I couldn't get my mug in there, but good morning, everybody. Welcome to First Sip. It's time to get your mind right. Episode 200. Fred Blanton, what you think?
Is it important to get your mind right?
You dang straight it is. Everybody we know needs to get their mind right. It's a tough world out there.
Full of distractions, garbage, and it is so easy to eat it up and get
irritating people.
Now, I didn't go that far.
Hey, we've got to get it, keeping our sanity in this world, not getting too upset, and getting motivated. Man, that's a fine balance, isn't it? It's a fine balance. If you're playing basketball, you're reffing a game, you're getting ready to do something competitive. Where's that balance? Do you want energy or do you want calm?
Well, you can't avoid the energy. If you know you're about to do something, the energy's there. Like you can be calm, but inside you know what's about to happen.
Oh yeah. What do they say? On the top, it's a duck, and underneath, paddling away. Russ Hammond in the house. Good morning. Congratulations on 200. Thank you, Russ. I think you've been here for almost all of them. Trey Whitehurst. Good morning. Thank you for coming back around. He was here a couple of weeks ago. And then Antarctic Mike, former guest. Greetings from Sumter, South Carolina. And Mike travels everywhere, doesn't he, Fred?
Yeah, the man has went from San Diego to South Carolina. Woo!
I mean, I tell you what, and it never ends. And he's got a TED Talk coming up. So TED Talks are pretty cool. So that's exciting for him. We are excited this morning to have the guest that Fred didn't get to meet. Do you remember, trivia question before we bring this guy on, do you remember when we interviewed Cole? I interviewed Cole. What was happening?
Yeah, hurricane, no power, trees laying everywhere, couldn't get on. Boy, I was mad.
I know, and I wanted you on that episode so bad, so I thought it would be great. Last minute, was able to get Cole back on the show, and he's done some impressive things, and I want to learn about that.
He's got a lot going on.
He does. So here we go. Cole Rodgers to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, gentlemen.
Cole, good morning. Are you a morning person? That's my first question for you.
Very much so. I wake up at 0400 every day. I've already been to the pool, about to go on a 3-mile run before my day gets started. And this is where all the magic happens for me. It really sets a tone. I am beyond grateful and humbled that you were just thinking of me. You reached out, and I'm just glad to be here this morning, gentlemen.
I'm glad that you got up this morning. You did your workout, because I did the same thing. I'm a morning person.
Awesome.
Knocked that workout out, but a guy was missing today. It's like he just laid in the bed or something.
I think I know who he's talking about, Cole. There's one thing we believe in: accountability. So Fred, anytime I miss a workout or anything he can call me out on, he does it. What do you think about that?
That's brotherhood.
That's it.
That's brotherhood. That's what it's all about. You need to have people in your life that tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And when you have someone that truly holds you lovingly accountable, that's someone that you know that you can go to battle with day in or night. They're going to be there for your success, but they're also going to be there to say, hey, you know what? I believe in a better version of you. I need you to do the same thing. So I love that.
we talk about telling the truth a lot, kind of calling things
Yeah.
like it is, and saying it. Do you think there's strength in saying the truth of how we see things and how things are?
Absolutely. I tell my son all the time, when it stings, it rings. What I basically mean by that is that it rings with truth. And it for me, it's incredibly important to teach him at a young age, he's 11, the importance of having integrity, in particular when no one looks. So last night had a situation with him to where he didn't tell me the full truth. I caught him. We had a discussion about it, and I actually have a bell in my house that is a constant reminder to never ring out. You know, three rings and you quit. And the importance behind that to him is I want him to be the young man that sees a shopping cart off in the distance and goes puts the shopping cart up, because that one white lie, as we know as men, turns into multiple white lies and it becomes an addiction. And then ultimately, you walk away lowering your self worth every time. So, yes, I'm 100% about the truth, in particular, not just with our young men, but also grown men. I mean, men need to be told what they need. You know, they need to hear. If it hurts, good. You know, there's within pain, there's growth. And the question I always ask myself, and I ask other men that I lead, that I mentor, that I surround myself with is, you know, what are you willing to struggle for? I mean, everybody wants to talk about what they want to achieve, but what are you willing to struggle for? And that really brings out the truth in a lot of ways. And so, yes, all that to say, guys, I love it. I love that you guys are holding each other accountable. You have a brotherhood that holds each other accountable, and you're willing to tell each other what you need to hear. That's a very rare attribute in today's world.
I agree.
Yeah, I love that. I want to play this right here. Quote of the day. Quote of the day. Get your mind right. That's a new video. It's a new video, and Freddie loves it. I can tell by the look on his face. He absolutely loves it. And you know what, Cole? You just gave a quote there that I absolutely love. So I wanted to make that the quote of the day. When it stings, it rings. I love that. When it stings, it rings. What does it mean, Fred?
Well, we've all felt it, right? If you push yourself and you hold yourself somewhat accountable, you know when you're riding the line of not giving it your all, or maybe thinking about doing something you shouldn't. So when somebody tells you because they also see it, it hurts. It stings. But you knew it was coming.
Yeah. We're a little defensive about it, and I agree with you. We kind of know we know the truth. We know the truth, and if someone else knows it, man, it sometimes can rattle our cage, and sometimes
it can be embarrassing.
It can be embarrassing, so it's all a journey. But I know this has been a big part of your life and your career: fitness, training, working with men. Tell me how these things come together. What is it about leading men's groups? I know that you've had one for a long time, and now you're doing these fitness challenges, and of course we want to segue into that. What is it about fitness and brotherhood and business? Why does it all work together, Cole?
Well, health is wealth, guys. You know, my health is wealth, and I'm 41 years young. You'll never hear me say I'm old. And anytime that someone says, hey, I'm 45 years old, I reverse it on them and say, no, you're young, because our health is wealth. And a lot of people, not just men, trade their wealth for health early on in their life, or really, trade wealth for health early on. And then all of a sudden they're trying to buy their health back later on. And so it's very important to me, and I alluded to this earlier, that my son, who is responsible for changing our family tree, just like I was responsible for changing our family tree, understands the power of proximity, that is truly influence, understands what it means to not just take care of his physical health, but his mental, his emotional, his spiritual. You know, I'm a huge believer in Christ. that's important to me and my family, and I want him to see that. But also my daughter. I have a 12-year-old turning 13 this weekend, and I want her to also recognize, what a man is. Growing up, none of us were really taught what a man is, and a man should always reject passivity, plain and simple. And that is the definition of a real man in my book. And I'm not saying you have to do fitness challenges, but if you're not healthy for your home in mind, body, spirit, it's a mirror. It's a law of the mirror, right? Your family's not going to be healthy. The business that you run, I always say this because I'm been blessed to walk alongside some incredible men, some 1% men in this world. You can quickly tell someone's business by how they take care of themselves. And it is a mirror. And so that's important to me, that I'm always focusing on rebirth and finding that new version of me that's a more healthier, more resilient man, because I have a daughter, a son looking at me. I have a beautiful wife, Ashley, that God put in my life. And then I have men that I lead uh, day in and day out. And so that's why it's incredibly important. It's a game of longevity. I mean, I think that everybody gets caught up in YouTube videos or kind of getting these little sound bites of motivation. Ultimately, your responsibility is to leave a legacy to those that are closest to you. And you're not going to be able to do that without longevity, guys. And so that's why it's important to me to answer your question.
I love that. And what did you take from that, Fred? There was a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, it's hard to lead a group of men or anybody really. One, if you're sloppy, and two, if they can't see you giving it your best.
That's right.
And that also trickles down to the family aspect.
What jumped out to me, I knew a guy that told me that he would find a way to find the people that he was interviewing to check out their car when they pulled up, because what Cole just said, how that car looks is very good indicator of how they take care of themselves. And so, cleanliness is next to godliness, they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what I would like to ask Cole now is to tell folks about the Murph challenge, why you did it, what happened. Sure. We've got 2.5 minutes, but this is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Well, I will start off with this. It's a number, 17,000. I burned 17,000 calories in 24 hours. And so for everybody that's listening and watching, this was a dedication to not just Lieutenant Michael Murphy, Medal of Honor recipient, fallen Navy SEAL. And the Murph is a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and another mile run with body armor or 20-pound vest. I did that over 19 rounds, close to 20 rounds. Actually, I got to the 20th round in 24 hours. And to put that into context, that was close to 40 miles, 2,000 pull-ups, 4,000 push-ups, 6,000 air squats. Everything was recorded for 24 hours. There were multiple witnesses, and it was a 4 to 5 year journey. It's a very deep discussion that I can't really get into for over just 2.5 minutes, but I'll put it to you this way. My mother was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer, and I had just completed a 55-hour crucible. And I looked at one of my brothers and I had said, hey, if she's going to walk this path, I've got to walk this path with her in the best way I know how. And because I knew at some point in time, my family was going to look at me because of all of my training and just how I operate in life, say, hey, we need you, right? When the fight comes to the doorstep or the knock at the door, you have to be ready. And because you never know when that's going to be. So through that process, along the way for 4 years, I also lost a good friend to suicide. Within my foundation, we work with a lot of special operators. Our veterans lost 2 of our operators to suicide. Found a young man in my organization who was on the brink of losing his life because he tried to take his life, just due to a breakup in a relationship with him. Found him in time, and I just said, you know what, this stuff's got to stop. And so through this process, guys, it was really to give men a reason to live and not exist, to provide hope when they think all is lost. And for over 4 or 5 years, I mean, I came up short so many times. That's where it gets really deep within the story. And the question why always comes up, and the why is always connected with the who in my book, because your who is by far greater than the how. And so we were able to accomplish it at the end of March, after a 4 to 5 year journey, and 6 day a week training, 2 hours a day. I'm 41, right? And a lot of people look at that and say, man, that's impossible. Well, you always start there and then you convert it to the possible. And there's a lot to that. But the young man in France had the record. It wasn't official. This one will be official. But he was 21, and that was another thing. Just a call to action to all of us that are watching, listening, is like, it's never too late. It's never too late to start, right? It's never too late to take care of yourself. It's never too late to focus on a new version of yourself. And there's nothing more powerful than that. And that's kind of what I said earlier, is like, don't tell me what you want to achieve. Talk to me about who you want to become through the process. And that's where the story gets really fun and really deep.
Well, we could take an hour to talk about it, but this was perfect. This has been fantastic. What you did is inspiring. If folks have never done one MRF, one regulation MRF, is not an easy thing to do. Not an easy thing to do. And this guy went all day long, and it's super impressive, super inspiring. And I appreciate you joining us this morning.
Yeah, super grateful, guys. Appreciate you.
Fred, final thought this morning before we slide away into our day.
It's time to reject passivity. Let's go.
Let's roll. Have a great day.